Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the NFLA. It's episode 5. We're talking week 4, and we'll talk week 5 a little bit later on, of course, but we're going to start with the games that we watched this past weekend. And Calvo, week 4, well, it left more teams dead in the water than a cruise ship fire drill, but if you came here for top tier football analysis, you've clicked on the wrong podcast. But if
Yeah.
you've come here for good vibes,
You still picked the wrong podcast.
no, the vibes are elite here this week, guys. So pull up a chair. But if you're sitting at home and you're watching and you're looking at your screens and you're wondering, Calvo normally looks more alive. Calvo normally looks better, but he looks like dog shit today. You're absolutely right. He does look like dog shit. He's tired. He's exhausted. But I'll tell you why. It's because Calvo and his lovely wife have just welcomed their first child into this world. Calvo, how does it feel to be a dad for, wow, what's it? It's less than a week now. Well,
Yeah,
past
man,
5 days or so. How's that? What's going on?
pretty crazy. Life's a whirlwind at the moment.
No
I think
doubt.
I've maybe gotten maybe a total of 10 hours in like 5 days so far, and maybe
That's
that's
not
pretty
enough.
good. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of half tape my eyelids open just so I can do this thing tonight with you. But
I
I mean,
appreciate you staying up well past your bedtime then.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I feel like time does not exist these days. You blink, it's 7 a.m. Next thing you know, it's 11 p.m. and you still haven't done anything but wash bottles constantly and
Oh God.
all that joy. But made me laugh, man. Aren't you going on a cruise soon? Are you putting out a bad omen there? Fire, fire drill on a cruise ship? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to speak that into existence. Yeah,
Right?
I
The
will be going
worst.
on a cruise in January, so I probably shouldn't say things like that, but whatever.
Well, funny you say that. I've been on a few and they actually do make you do a fire drill as soon as you get on there, just so that you are aware of what's going on. And
Probably
uh,
smart. I don't
just
want
so you
people
know,
scrambling
Bradley,
around, right?
yeah, women and children first. I know you're going to George Costanza
No,
your way
fuck
out of
that.
that ship, and
Fuck that. It's me first. Get the hell out of my way, lady.
fair enough, fair enough. Well, what do we got on tap for today, bud?
Yeah, well, we'll try and get through today's episode quickly, just before you fall asleep, basically. So let's dive into our Week 4 recap here, buddy. We'll talk Thursday night first. Obviously, Seattle Seahawks playing the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams 2-1 coming in. Seahawks go to 3-1. They beat the Cardinals 23-20. Survived that fourth quarter rally by Kyler and Jason Myers boots the 52-yarder at the buzzer, basically to win the game for Seattle.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting game for the Thursday nighter, right? And it's two teams that you're like, okay, well, they've got some decent defense.
Yeah,
Maybe the offense can just score enough points, and sure enough, that's what happened for the Seahawks, right?
yes,
And
sir.
but yeah, I remember watching that fourth quarter, and we're seeing some vintage Kyler in that quarter where he's getting out, using his legs, getting those first downs, and extending those drives. So definitely made it interesting, just not enough.
Not enough time left on the clock to complete it, but Steelers kind of had the same kind of vibe to their game with the Vikings. They play the first ever game in Ireland. They're at Croke Park in Dublin. First time ever, so the Irish fans were treated to some NFL football, and all Steelers early. Defense was able to survive that late push by the Vikings there. Late push Carson Wentz had like 350 yards passing. Both Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison went over 100 yards receiving. The Vikings offense looked good late, but again, ran out of time.
Yeah, it's one of these things when you're playing on kind of neutral turf, you never know what kind of game you're going to get. But
Yeah.
in the intro, you talked about elite vibes. If you haven't yet, go do yourself a favor and go check out that Dublin call of the DK Metcalf
Oh,
touchdown.
it was
It's
awesome.
insane. I
I
love
love
it.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, Steelers found a way to get it done on foreign territory.
Yeah, man. And I love that we're growing the game. It's nice to hear the foreign language calls or the Irish calls, stuff like that. It's awesome. It
Right.
just gives you chills when they're as into it as we are, right? So you
For
wouldn't
sure.
expect it from Irish, from the Irish
Well,
folk.
right. And it's funny, at the beginning of the year, just like pretty much every year, we joke about the Steelers being 9-8. And
Yeah.
looking at this division, that might be enough to win it this year. So who
Oof.
knows? They're
Division's
in
looking a little rough. Well, basically injuries are kind of killing most of that division, but yeah.
for sure. Well, speaking of rough divisions,
Yeah.
the Texans take on the Titans, and Texans finally look like their old selves. And maybe all they needed was just a little date with the Titans. Well, they win 26-0. Man, I feel like that's what second week in a row we've seen a zero burger up there. Not from Titans, of course, but
Yeah.
just in teams in general. But yeah, Houston finally gets in the win column. CJ looks like himself, and
Hmm.
a little breakout by Woody Marks. Who knows? Rookie taking over in the backfield there.
A little rookie running back kind of taking over. Yeah, because I mean Nick Chubb is a solid running back, but with his injury history, right, it's tough to rely on him. But yeah,
Yeah,
Woody Marks coming in with those fresh legs, and Houston Texans get it done in style. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Titans are kind of the cure-all for what ails you, right?
I guess so. Yeah. And I mean, circling back to Chubb there, he's only really averaging about 3 yards per carry. And
Yeah.
outside of that, like 25-yard rushing touchdown he had a couple weeks ago, like he's done nothing. And so Woody was out involved in the passing game as well and
Yeah.
looked like, did you see his pancake block too? Oh
Oh
man. So
God, yeah.
he's not only the best blocker, he's probably the pass catcher. And he looked really good running the ball too. So won't be long here, I think, before I know they're kind of go 1A, 1B right now, but I think within the next couple of weeks he'll be fully 1A.
Yeah, no doubt there. And we're talking about undisputed 1As. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson, buddy.
Woo.
The Falcons go to 2-2 a week after getting skunked by the Carolina Panthers of all teams. The
Right?
offense wakes up and puts up 34 on, on the Commanders, who are supposed to be a solid team this year. So Falcons go to 2-2. Commanders fall to 2-2. And that was another game. Penix unbelievably shut down against Carolina and then explodes against Washington. Bijan had a solid game. Atlanta, you don't know what you're going to get from this team week to week, buddy.
For sure. And that's why I have a love-hate relationship with football because you can never predict what the hell's going to happen.
Seriously.
It's messed up. But yeah, looking like a shade of the Falcons offense that we saw at the end of last year. So
Yeah.
maybe they can get rolling and keep the Bucks on their toes for that division.
If they can string a solid offensive game together for 2 weeks in a row, I'll be impressed. Like that's where you want to start, I think.
Right.
Speaking of which, though, the Bears 2 wins in a row. Don't look now, but the Bears are streaking. They go to 2-2. They blocked that last minute field goal by the Raiders to hang on to the 1 point win. And yeah, Bears 2-2. Yeah.
Didn't the Bears know that blocking field goals was last week's team, not this week?
Bears late to the party, typical.
Yeah, right. Oh, always a few steps behind, but yeah, Bears get it done, move to 500, and
Yeah, man.
who knows? Maybe this division is going to be a little bit tighter down the stretch, unless the Lions can run away with it, even though they've got a bit of a gauntlet schedule this year. But
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with it. The Bears had a couple of cake matchups. Dallas has a pretty pretty weak defense, and so do the
yeah,
Raiders, right? So I don't think
right,
it's a great accomplishment winning those two games, but it steps in the right direction.
right. Well, speaking of going through the gauntlet,
Oh,
a
yeah,
team that you'd expect to be a major powerhouse in the AFC and the
yeah.
Ravens, dude, they're 1-3 to start. And now
One and
it's
three.
coming out Lamar has a hamstring injury. He's going to miss the next 2 games. So this season could quickly get away from the Ravens. It would when they had such high hopes. And you have to think you got an aging Henry. Do they maybe try and move him at the deadline just to recoup some pieces and be done with this season?
Well, we're going to talk about this one a little bit more later, but yeah, I mean, we knew one of these teams was going to fall to 1-3 this week, and with the way that the Baltimore defense is playing, dude, and you're right, no Lamar for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. Whew, yeah, it's gonna be tough sledding for the Ravens here the next little bit. But the Chiefs looked like the Chiefs again. They kind of exploded. Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns, man, and Chiefs put up 37 on Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of talked about last week, this Ravens defense just looks all out of sorts, and
Yeah,
don't know what's going on with them because they still got some stellar pieces in place, but even they'll admit right now we're just not very good.
yeah,
And yeah, so it's some of these teams they're almost like a get right game, which you wouldn't expect from a Ravens team, right? That
definitely
has
not. Yeah,
high aspirations every year. So
that's kind
yeah,
of one of the surprises of the year so far. Yeah,
right. And I mean, I wish it was the Chiefs that went to 1-3 just to see all the turmoil that's going to be going on. What's happening with the
yeah, yeah.
Chiefs, blah, blah, blah. But also, I'm kind of happy that they're just lingering at 500 because the more they're just mediocre, the less we have to hear about them. So,
Vibes are really just kind of immaculate in Kansas City right now. A huge win against the rival Ravens, and Taylor Swift dropped her 12th studio album there this past week. Today, actually, I think so.
yeah, the 12th one that sounds like the 8th, ninth, and 10th, and all
Yeah,
the other ones in
yeah,
between.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. I called this one. This was my lock of the week. I was like, for sure, Rams are winning this game. Sure enough, they well, it wasn't smash, but it was convincing enough. They win against the Colts, the previously unbeaten Colts, drop them to 3-1. The Rams go to 3-1. They win 27-20 and had a bit of a slow start in this game. Kind of opposite to the game that they had against the Eagles the week before, where they came out of the gates fast and then slowed
Mhm.
down in the second half. But slow started this one, but they stepped on the gas late and strip sack at the very end kind of sealed it.
Right. And they were able to somewhat contain Jonathan Taylor as well, which I think
Yeah.
that's going to be the key to victory against the Colts for most of the year. But,
The only
Danny
team that have been
Jones,
able to do that so far this year.
right. A few more punts in this one for the Colts too. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, the Rams, they just find a way to get it done late. So
Yes, sir. Bills, one of two remaining unbeaten teams. The Bills go to 4-0. I really thought that the Bills would win this game by about 75. It was way closer than I thought it was going to be, but they get it done 31-19 over the 0-4 Saints. I don't know that there's much more to talk about here. We know the Saints remain a dumpster fire.
right.
The Bills are 4-0, but I don't know that they've really been tested yet. The combined record of the four teams that the Bills have beaten so far, 2-14. So,
Yeah. But again, it's how they get it done, right? And like you said, it was a little bit concerning. It was really close for a lot of this game, which it probably shouldn't have been, right?
yeah,
But I think it just goes to show you, even like if you think about when teams come to town to play the Leafs, right? You're
yeah,
always going to get their best game. And
that's it.
when teams know that you're kind of like the top of the class, they're going to step up, and maybe some of these teams are going to surprise you, especially, when you look at their record and you say, okay, they're 0-3, we're 3-0, we're the Bills, they're the Saints, we're probably going to smash them. And then sometimes you get smacked in the mouth a little bit early and then it wakes you up, right?
Yep.
You don't fight back until you taste your own blood. So
Well, and any given Sunday, right? Like
yep,
these are all still NFL teams, and
for sure.
any given Sunday they can show up and play a solid game. And I don't think the Saints played terribly. They just ran into a team that's much better than them. So,
Right.
but speaking of unbeaten teams, my Eagles, the other perfect team, still 4-0. They beat the Bucks. Calvo picked the Bucks to upset. It didn't happen. I knew it wouldn't happen. Eagles win 31-25. They had a fourth quarter stop on Baker and the safety to kind of seal it, but yeah, here we go, perfect.
Yeah,
And they've been tested against some tougher teams than Buffalo has been. So,
you were sweating though. Let's
well,
be
of
real.
course, of course.
Especially when Ibuka started going off late in that game again. Man,
Well, and my
kid's
problem
impressive.
was Jalen Hurts had 0 passing yards in the second half. That was the
No,
kind of the
shocking.
story in the first half against the Rams. He lit it up in the first half this game and then was silent in the second half. Of course, he didn't need to do anything, but still.
It wasn't funny last week. I'm like, well, hopefully it's the first half. And then sure enough,
Yeah.
Bucks are storming back a bit here. And then yeah, just you guys had enough to get it done. So
Yes, sir.
4-0, but guess what, man? The train's coming. So you just better watch out.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Sure.
Moving on. What do we else? Oh, we got the Pats, the Patriots. Kind of, I feel like this is going to be an up and down team, kind of all year. Probably hugging that 500 mark most of the year. So the Patriots go to 2-2. They stomped the Panthers 42-13. This game was not pretty by any
No.
means. Marcus Jones had a punt return, 87-yard punt return for a touchdown. That kind of flipped the momentum in New England's favor early, and they didn't look back.
Well, I think that's the key to a lot of victories, especially for these up and coming teams, right? Or the teams that may not be super talented like the Panthers, but could still steal a game. But if
Yeah.
you're losing the special teams battles or you're turning the ball over, that's quickly how the game can get away from you. So yeah, you let an 87 punt return go through. That's a momentum killer that just demoralizes anybody. So,
Yeah.
then you're just an uphill battle the rest of the way. But yeah, the Panthers looked pretty strong last week. And then yeah, it came out a little flat this week against the Patriots.
It's
And
funny how so many teams switch from week to week, whether or not they're,
yeah,
but that was what it was turnovers, like you mentioned, like a couple weeks ago when the Pats got routed or not routed, but beat by the Steelers in a game that
yeah,
they probably should have won. They turned
yeah,
it over way too many times, and in this game they just played a hell of a lot cleaner football.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So clean football. Who would have thought?
who would have thought, hey?
Keys to the victory.
What else we got this past week?
Oh, well, oh man, I don't even
Oof,
know where to start with this one, but
I
the
think I know where you're
ponies,
going. Yeah,
usually big jungle cat's probably going to do all right against a horse, right? But 28-3, the Broncos embarrass the Bengals at home.
yeah, yeah.
And man, they've scored like 10 points over 2 games. This is not looking good for the Bengals.
They might
And it
have to
wasn't even
look for some
close.
outside help. Jake Browning doesn't seem to be the answer there.
Yeah, but according to Zach Taylor, he is. And I mean, you can only put so much on Browning too. Like that O line is Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do? I mean, you've got your best two options in Chase and Higgins running routes all game, and they're just blanketed. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, the Broncos showed up and showed out and laid a beat down on the Bengals.
And Miami. gets their first win of the year. They go to 1-3. They beat the now 0-4 Jets, picking on the winless team. So Miami looked a little better. Looks like maybe they might have something here. And then Tyreek Hill. I don't know if you saw this.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I saw it.
the
I wish I
Tyreek Hill
didn't.
injury. If you haven't seen it, please don't go and watch it. I know you're going to now that we're saying this out there, Bralvonians. But please don't. Just trust us. You don't want to see what Tyreek's left knee looks like.
Yeah, legs aren't
But
supposed to bend that way. Let's just put it that way.
no, so that might kill Miami's momentum after they finally get in the win column. But I guess we'll see what happens going forward. Darren Waller looked good though in his first game as a Dolphin.
Little revival, two
Yeah,
touchdowns, and yeah, Tua's going to need some reliable targets because you lost your biggest one, and
yeah,
you
man.
know we've seen kind of a shadow of Jalen Waddle over the last year and a half too. So he's going to have to get going if this team has any chance of getting back into any kind of relevant contention.
I don't know. To me, like honestly, it looked like to me when Tyreek was on the cart and getting wheeled off the field. Maybe it's just me. To me, it honestly looked like he was like happy that he was done for the year. That this injury was like he was like happy because he's like, good, thank God I'm out of Miami now. Like it just looked like he was saying goodbye to the fans. Like
Yeah,
maybe that's just my interpretation of it, but it really looked kind of bad.
I think it looks really bad.
Yeah.
I heard after the fact that he said he was just trying to laugh to get through the pain, which I mean,
Okay.
I can understand that too. I mean, it is one of these things, but yeah, there's a lot of spotlights on you, especially when there's already been history of drama with him. But I don't think anybody really wants to destroy their leg
I don't know.
completely. Like he's not a young cat anymore.
No, he's
And
what 31 now.
I
So
think
yeah,
he's 31,
yeah,
32. So like if it's a 3 year recovery for this thing before he's like finally back, and then the ramp up period to get back into football
yeah.
shape at
Does he even have any career
34,
left?
you're
Right? Yeah,
right. So like I don't see him being that happy about it, to be honest. But
maybe
I mean
not.
he's made his guaranteed millions anyway. So I mean, if that's his ticket to retire, then at least his brain's intact.
Yeah, well, I mean, we so far we think anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find out. But let's move on here. Lions, buddy, your Lions they go to 3-1. They spanked the Browns. I don't know. What do you got to say about this one? It was pretty much the outcome we expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think you never quite know. I mean, I did take the Lions as my lock of the week
Yeah,
last week, and that maybe that's a little bit of cockiness, and showing that we are better than the Packers, right? But it was close early, and the Browns stayed in it. But then, just like we talked about before, when you start turning that ball over,
yeah,
especially to a fairly good defense, and then with an offense as potent as Detroit's is, you can't afford to give them extra attempts to score touchdowns. And that was the difference. We scored all the touchdowns and that went off those turnovers instead of just kicking field goals. So yeah, blew it open. Not much to talk about. I think we Johnny Morton was right. Cleveland hasn't seen a run game like ours, and
yeah.
it didn't matter what defensive front there was because that O line is not Swiss cheese.
Even the best defenses have rough games, and when you're facing an offense like Detroit, that'll happen sometimes. So
Right. Well, and it's
Giants.
also
Oh
sorry,
yeah, sorry.
it's also been a couple games since we've given up a sack. So
Yeah,
that's massive too, right? If you're giving
yeah.
Goff time in the pocket, he's probably going to pick you apart. So
We'll move on to the Giants here. 1-3. They get their first win of the year in a game that no one expected them to get to their first win of the year. They upset the LA Chargers and give them their first loss of the year.
yeah.
Giants win 21-18. The Chargers fall to 3-1 against the Giants. What is going on there?
Hey man, the exciting whites are bringing the elite vibes.
Yeah, they are. Jackson
Jackson
Dart.
Dart, yeah, man, he had a rushing touchdown. Looked really good in this one.
He
He
did.
wasn't trying to be a hero.
No.
Now, obviously, just like the Dolphins, this one came at a cost. They lost neighbors for the whole year now too.
Yeah,
So
that's rough.
Scottaboo's going to have to really step up. And some of these receivers that they've drafted fairly highly over the last couple of years have never really done much to this point. Are really going to have to show out for the Giants to have any kind of relevancy here the rest of the way.
Kind
But
of a perfect opportunity for Wandale Robinson to kind of now
right.
assert himself as the number one there for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
what I thought was kind of neat, like Jackson Dart could have taken all the credit in this one and afterwards gave a shout out to Russ for how well he handled that benching. And,
Yeah.
Russ came out and said, hey, I'm a pro. Like my job is to help Jackson get better.
Yeah.
And I still think I'm a winner, but this is the cards that have been dealt essentially, right? So good
Essentially.
on Russ for being that solid vet, even though he probably really wants to be in there. But again, when you're making questionable decisions like he did the week before, Hey,
Yeah.
Dayball's looking like a genius, and let's be real. I think Dayball's on one of his final years of his contract. Whether he's signed or not, if it doesn't go well this year, it's probably a good chance he's gone, right? So you got to do anything to get some wins in the column there. So
And Russ is not an idiot. Like he's a smart guy. He knows he's kind of in the twilight of his career, and his job, now is the odd spot start. Obviously, you started the year first 3 games of the year, and now
right,
it's just going to be to kind of mentor, and he knows that, and I think he's fine with that. I think he signed there kind of knowing that to begin with, right? So
yep,
it's the
absolutely.
Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo era in New York. Moving
Woo!
on.
Let's go, Scatabooyah,
I,
baby.
I I just hope they don't turn into a good team anytime soon, being in the Eagles division. But
Oh man. Yeah,
yeah,
you never know. They've got a quietly good defense, I guess. Some
yeah.
solid pieces there. But yeah, let's move on. Jaguars versus the 49ers.
My dog of the week.
Yeah, you've been
Nailed
crushing
it.
those dogs, and
Nail
for
that
some
dog.
reason I can't pick a single one, but
Yeah.
here we are. Jaguars win 26-21, ending the 49ers win streak. 49ers moved to 3-1. Conversely, so do the Jaguars. So
Yeah.
still leading that division for the Jaguars. And yeah, many would call this an upset, but I guess what do you think?
I mean, yes and no. I think Trevor Lawrence kind of had his best game of the year so far. I think again the story though was Travis Etienne again over 100 yards rushing, and really the Jacksonville defense kind of took over. I think they had generated 4 takeaways,
Hmm.
which we haven't really seen a whole lot out of the Jacksonville defense. So if they can start playing like that, and Trevor Lawrence can keep playing clean games like that, whew,
Yeah.
Jacksonville will win that division like I called.
Yeah. Well, and Travis Hunter looked really good on defense in this one
Yeah,
and had a couple plays on offense. And you like to see him get going a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball.
yeah,
And I think that would really help some of the offensive woes that the Jaguars have seen. But I think the struggle there is how are you going to utilize him and keep him healthy for the whole season, right? When he's
yeah.
playing on both
Playing both
sides.
sides. Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe he can game break both sides of the ball come week 8 or so. But
yeah.
one guy that's expected to be a game breaker constantly and is, look good at times. Obviously, we know he's struggling with a bad back, but Micah Parsons, we know he's dealing with a bad back, but I don't think that wanted to stop him from rolling back into Jerryville and facing his old team in the Dallas Cowboys. And man, they rolled into Dallas, and this game was wild.
And like wild, yes, but the fourth quarter especially was back and forth. I think they scored 30 points between them in the fourth quarter alone, and then obviously the OT. You never want to see games end in a tie. I hate ties so much. I really think
Right.
that the NFL needs to do something to get rid of these. Like just let overtime continue until someone wins. It's so stupid seeing a couple teams with ties in the standings at the end of the year. I just think it's ridiculous, but no, it's just me.
I saw one person propose like a kickoff at the end of the year or at the end of the game.
Yeah,
You just start at the 10 and keep moving back until someone misses
until
it.
someone misses. I don't know if I like that because I feel like it's like a shootout in hockey where it becomes
Right.
not even a team sport anymore. It's just an individual like skills competition, and I kind of hate that. I would want it to still be ended in the team fashion, in a normal football fashion. Just let overtime continue until someone wins.
I
But I
agree.
mean,
Even if you
that would be exciting, the kickoff.
right. I mean, I think Dallas would have a pretty unfair advantage over a lot of people with Brandon Aubrey there, but
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you know what? Even if they extended it by 5 minutes, give us that full quarter.
yeah,
The 10 minutes feels kind of short, especially if teams are running the ball in overtime just to
yep,
try and tire guys out even more, right? To see if you can break one through. But
yep.
yeah, you hate to see a game end in a tie, but hey, I think the two teams that we're playing benefits both of our teams to see a tie up there. So
Yeah.
hey,
Well, and it's
we'll
funny
take
because
it.
the Packers are your most hated team, the Cowboys are my most hated team. So to see neither of them win,
Right.
it's kind of satisfying. But to see neither of them lose is just, I don't know.
Well, what's even more satisfying on my side is like the Packers fans, as you know, Bralvonians, they just don't shut up. And if you are a Packers fan, you fucking know it too. So don't even come at me in the comments saying, you know it. And
Just
all of
like,
them are acting like they're all
yeah,
high and mighty because you beat us in week 1. But look at the standings. Look at the standings, bud.
yeah.
Lions at the top.
By a half a game now because of the tie. Yeah. No,
Don't
I hear
matter.
you. And Cowboys fans are the same way. They're fucking insufferable. They don't shut up. So,
Yeah. You know
so
who
yeah,
else
good
is?
on them.
Eagles fans.
Fuck you.
Super insufferable.
Eagles fans are the shit, and so I think that'll do it. Then let's
Well,
that wraps up our.
I think you misphrased that.
You wanted me to take the word "the" out of there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our shit is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
correct term.
Anyway, that's a wrap for week 4. So yeah, so a new format going forward. Kind of how we like to approach this is every year is a brand new year. Every team starts with that perfect unblemished record. Every team starts the year with all kinds of hope, and we like to cover the first month, the first 4 games of the year, talking about every game, talking about every team, because you never know what will happen. But at this point, after the first month, you can kind of see who the haves and who the have-nots are. And so going forward, we're just going to cover the decent, like the good teams and the games that we think are exciting and worth talking about. If you're an 0-4 team and you're playing another 0-4 team, no one wants to talk about Jets versus Titans, and no one wants to hear about Jets versus Titans, if we're being honest. So, if going forward, if you don't hear about your team as often, well, your team just needs to stop being dog shit.
Yeah.
Am I right, Calvo? Are we?
Yeah, man.
That makes
Just
sense.
just keeping it real. And like you said, some
Honestly,
teams shine,
yeah.
some just barely hang on all year, right? Like the Steelers.
If
They're
you're,
relevant enough to stay
yeah,
in it. But yeah.
that's it. Like, so if you're a fan of one of those 0-4 teams, we'll talk about you if they do something really awesome. The odd time if they have a highlight worth talking about, or a low light worth talking about if they do something god awful, which they're probably more likely to do. Or if they're playing a team that we do want to talk about, sure. But you're going to hear about them a little bit less, and that's
Right.
in the interest of time,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
And if you are a fan of one of those teams, you probably question your life choices and
Yeah.
you're Googling the draft order after every week just to see where your team might be picking. And trust me, as a Lions fan, I've been there. Week
Well,
4, just please give us that highest pick as
yeah,
possible, right?
that's
And
it.
so I think with that being said, I think that brings in a new segment that we're probably going to roll with every week. And that's our dumpster fire of the week. And
Yes, sir.
why don't we just jump right into it? Because I think for me and probably you, this is a very easy one,
Yeah.
and it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gone on the record for probably the last 2 years. I absolutely love hating on these guys, mostly because it drives our good buddy McKee absolutely wild.
Yeah, it does.
But it's also kind of a running theme so far this year. And honestly, man, like I don't know how their GM Duke Tobin has been fired for his roster construction. Like, how do you give all your money to 3, 4 guys, have no money left for the defense?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the guy that you spend the most money on goes down once again. And obviously, it's unfortunate when you lose a player like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But once again, it's early. It buries their whole season. Even if he comes back and lights it up, they're going to be too far out of it at
Yeah.
that point. Especially, I haven't looked too far along to see what their schedule looks like the rest of the way. But like,
I don't
you
think
got
it
the
matters because they're getting blown out no matter what. They can't even score more than a field goal. So,
right, and we kind of touched on it, but they're not scoring a lot of points. They've only scored 13 points in the last 2 games,
yeah.
and with the offensive weapons that they have, that's just plain not acceptable. Like, does not live up to their standard.
Mhm.
And honestly, like their defense is so bad. It looks like they could get beaten by a high school team at the moment. And we kind of hinted at it already, but their O-line is trash. Their defense is trash. They have
Yeah.
zero run game. And so they are the very definition of one-dimensional football team.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's been reflected when you say like they've got Higgins and Chase, and it looks like they're just blanketed on every single play
Yeah.
because it's easy to cover, right? Like just let them run deep and who cares?
Yeah.
Their O-line doesn't have enough time to let Jake Brown get the ball downfield. So even as talented as that offense is, they just cannot get the ball. Like we said, Denver went in there, flat out spanked them.
Yeah.
Detroit is surely going to have their way
Yeah.
with
It's
them. And
not
if
going to
they
get any
don't,
easier for them this week. Yeah.
no. And if Detroit doesn't, I'm probably not going to watch football for the rest of the year. But let's be honest. Like I said, the next couple of weeks just look daunting for them. Dude, is this the NFL or prison sentence? Because I don't see anything but beatings and probably unwanted humpings for the rest of their future, at least for the next 6 weeks. But you might as well trade in those stripes for an orange jumpsuit.
Oh my God. Dude, love is love. All right, Calvo, love is love. And this is a very inclusive podcast.
Hey, you're right there, buddy. I mean, hey, I'm all for it, whatever you want to do. But I just got one question for you though. How does it feel to know that the Bengals are getting more action than you are these days?
Oh, fuck. It's not good. It's not a great feeling.
Love is love, especially if it's self-love.
That's right. That's right. It's the best kind of love.
Right? Well, I think I don't think many of our Bralvonians are going to disagree with that being the dumpster fire of the week. But if
Yeah.
you do, drop a comment and let us know who you think the dumpster fire of the week is. I think there could be a couple others up there, like the Titans,
Yeah.
you know,
Putting up a donut.
putting up a donut. So, hey, like I said, free speech. Let us know.
Yeah. Moving on from the dumpster fire of the week, buddy, I think we should talk about a few key matchups coming up in Week 5. What do you think? A couple of hype matchups here. I think Bills Patriots could be a banger. Patriots are looking okay after last week. Division matchup. You never know how they're going to go. What do you think?
Well, I think it depends on what New England team we're going to see. If we see the one that just showed up against the Panthers, they're going to be right in this game. But if we see the one like from the week before against the Steelers, where they're
Yeah.
turning the ball over left, right, and center, well, they've got Josh Allen, so that game is going to be over real quick.
I have a feeling we might see that Patriots team. Honestly, like Bills Patriots, to me, it looks like a business meeting where one guy brought the slideshow and the other guy forgot to even wear a tie. Like Buffalo's, they've got all the tools. New England's just trying not to embarrass themselves.
Right. Hey, I think the one thing that Pats have going for them is that it is at home, so you never really know how that could go. But yeah, I think Bills pretty much win this one handily.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah, we've got another international game on the docket.
Yeah, we do.
Browns versus the Vikings, and this one might be interesting. I don't know. Like we've seen those flashes from Carson Wentz where he looks pretty decent, but then others where you're like, oh man, he looks like the Carson Wentz that couldn't stick on a team for 4 years straight,
Yeah.
right? And both teams have pretty good defensive players, so this could be one of those low scoring affairs, and maybe the London fans are in for a bit of a snoozer.
Nothing says grow the game internationally like subjecting the British to the Browns. Like, the Browns offense, especially at 9 a.m. local time. Honestly, this might start another revolution, dude.
Well, I mean, the thing that's going to be interesting for the Browns too is that they've benched Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
And Dylan Gabriel's getting his first start. Lefty going out there, but
I like
kind of
it.
an interesting choice, especially against the Vikings defense that likes to throw a lot of blitzes at you. And he's going to see a lot of different looks, and it's going to be interesting to see how he fares on this one.
So is that three lefty QBs we got going on in the NFL? We got Tua, we
Tua,
got
Penix, and
Penix, and now we got
Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
crazy. Lefty's
Your
taking
your
over.
your boy Brooksy's a lefty. He loves to see it.
Well, I'm left-handed, but somehow I don't know how to throw with my left. So
So are you
interesting.
really left? I do I'm a pure lefty. Everything's left. Are you
Yeah,
really?
I'm pretty ambidextrous, but I don't know. I can do it all.
Calvo swings both ways. There you go.
Hey, you heard it here first.
Speaking of going both ways, these Falcons, you never know what kind of team you're going to get out of this Falcon squad every week, but they are up against the Commanders in Week 5, buddy. This is either going to be a shootout or it's either going to be the kind of game that you show prisoners that you're interrogating to break their spirit. Like, there's no middle ground here.
Well, I'm expecting a shootout. Commanders are getting Jaden Daniels back,
Yeah,
and yeah, both these teams are going to be a little riled up. And let's be real. This is the point of the year where you need to start compiling some wins in a row here. You
totally.
don't want to be floating around that 500 mark come the third of the season mark or halfway point, right? You
Yeah.
want to have a little bit of a lead built up on some of these games and at least have a wild card spot somewhat secured as you get into that later half of the season once the buys start happening and all
Yeah,
those
man.
things. So
And then my Eagles are in action. We've talked about the Commanders in that division falling behind. The Eagles still perfect. They take their 4-0 record home to host the Denver Broncos, buddy. These Broncos are showing up in Philly, kind of like a kid trying to crash a frat party. They've got swagger, but they're definitely uninvited, and they're probably going to end up getting their ass kicked anyway.
no way, man. Broncos are like McLovin. He's going to be the life of the party, showing up, ruining everybody else's day, but he's going to have a great old time.
Chicka
So
chicka, yeah, fake ID.
McLovin? Who are you, fucking seal?
I
It's great,
love
but
it.
no, this should be an entertaining game. I mean,
Yeah.
both teams have a pretty good defense. Both offenses are kind of a little lackluster, but could potentially break out, right? So I think there's not going to be a whole lot of space out there, but if the run games can get going on both sides, then could be a pretty entertaining game.
Yeah, the Broncos defense hasn't really done anything to scare me really this year, and I really thought that they were going to come into the year stronger considering how they played last year. But yeah, I guess
Weird.
we'll see. And what's
Yeah,
that?
weird. They're probably saying the same thing about your offense.
Yeah, that's fair actually. The Eagles just show up for like 1 or 2 quarters of football, and then yeah, that's enough to
Right.
win every game so far. But yeah, we'll see how that holds up going forward. But your Lions are also in action. They're going into Cincy to play the Bengals.
Right. And let's be real. The only reason we're talking about this as a key matchup is because they are the Lions in
Yeah,
my team,
yep,
right? But
it's going to
I
be a
think
shit show.
really the only real reason to see is or tune in to watch this game is just to see how many points the Lions could actually put up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, if the Bengals turn the ball over 6, 7 times, Lions might put up 60 easy. Like, it's crazy.
I'm thinking the Lions will probably pull their starters halfway through the third quarter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that would be a sign of success in this game, I think, right? And don't let
yeah,
anybody get hurt. That's all you really hope for in these games is just let everybody come out clean,
yeah,
good bill of health, and that way you're not wasting it on a team like the Bengals. So
yeah.
here we
So those,
go.
yeah, so those are the key matchups we're looking forward to going into week 5, buddy. Let's toss in. We haven't done this year, or did we do it in the first week?
I think we did it in the first week,
Yeah.
but
Well, let's
I
it's
always
time
like
for
bringing
another
it
one. We're
back.
due. Yeah, exactly. Let's play some in or out.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about how Dylan Gabriel's going to make his first start
Yep.
this week. Now, the Browns' record is still fairly respectable. So let me ask you: are you in or out? Did the Browns move on from Flacco too early with his expertise?
I think I'm out on that. I think it's a year that you're not expecting to compete anyway, so you might as well see what you have in Dylan Gabriel or even Shadur, I guess, if it comes to that, if Dylan Gabriel's bad enough to get benched or if he gets hurt, right? So I think this is a year where you can kind of experiment, and I think it's same sort of situation to me like with the Giants, where Russ is just kind of be that mentor now. I think that's a perfect role for Joe Flacco right now.
Right. And that's valid. I think so I'm going to say that I'm in on this. I do think that they moved on too early, and I think it just shows that they don't really care about winning there. I think they just want the best pick they can possibly get to stockpile and build the team up a little bit more because let's be real, like that division is still very much at hand. Like the Steelers aren't really blowing anybody out,
No.
and you're 2-2 and you're right in striking distance with them, and you still have two more games to play
Well,
against
they're
them.
1-3, but
Oh, sorry, 1-3.
But
But
the Ravens are also 1-3. Bengals are
right,
2-2 and falling fast. So really, it's
right.
just the Steelers. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they're giving up a little bit too early, but maybe I'll throw a little bonus one in here. Should have been Shadur over Gabriel.
I don't know that we're there yet. I think they want to see what they've got in Dylan Gabriel first. He looked really good in the preseason. So,
So many politics, eh? So many politics. But hey,
I mean, hey, who am I to say? I mean, put Shadur in if you think he's going to give you the best chance to win. But I honestly don't think the Browns care too much about winning this season. They just want to see
right.
what they have. So,
Well, when you've got a million quarterbacks on the roster, I guess you got to try them all at some
yeah,
point, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Sure. So speaking of seasons, kind of being over early, are you in or out that the Raven season might be over already?
I'm in on that. I think if you're 1-3, talked about it earlier, your defense is trash, and now you've lost Lamar for almost maybe a month. I think the season's done. I mean, again, their division is a little bit weaker. I don't know, man. They don't look good at all, even when Lamar's healthy. So,
I'm going to say I'm out on that for now. I mean, they've
okay,
got Cooper Rush, which he's come in, looked pretty serviceable for the Cowboys over the last couple of years. And maybe his win-loss record isn't spectacular, but I do think that the Ravens have a better team than the Cowboys have. And maybe if they lose the next two, then there's maybe a little bit of cause for concern. But I also think that the AFC is a little bit weaker. We're seeing a lot
it
of these
is.
teams that are only like 1-3 right now that you kind of expect to be playoff contenders, right?
Yeah,
So
like Houston. Yeah,
yeah, so they might hang around a little bit, but I definitely think you're kind of that carnage meter is kind of building a little bit if you're a
for
Ravens
sure,
fan for sure. So
for
I think you
sure.
can never really fully count them out just based on their coach alone, but yeah, they've definitely still got enough weapons.
Well,
But
they still got Derrick Henry. They still have some weapons, right? There's a lot of talent on that team still. So even without Lamar, if they can tread water for a couple weeks, yeah, maybe. But I don't know. I think they're pretty much done.
so
But let's
s-
go.
speaking of pretty much done, are you in or out that the Saints are the next team to have a winless season? A lot has to go wrong to go
And that's
completely
it. Like 0 and
and
16
and
as
trust me, I've seen it. A
I
lot of
know.
things go wrong.
Yeah, what was it? 08? The Lions went 0 and 16?
Yeah.
2008?
At least we're not the latest one to do that. At least our team didn't throw a parade when it happened to us. But
Yeah, 2008, right? Oh my God.
yeah, 2008. I mean, like I said, at least the Browns were the most recent ones to do it and
True.
threw a
Yeah.
parade, which is super embarrassing. But one good thing that came out of the Lions doing that is they got Matty Stafford out of the deal. So
Yeah.
but I mean, I think it really depends on what happens the rest of the way here because if I look at the Saints' remaining games, and this is in no particular order, but they've got the Giants this week,
Yep.
they play the Pats, they've got the Bears, Bucks times two, the Rams, Panthers times two, Falcons times two, Dolphins, Jets, and Titans.
A
So
lot of winnable games in there.
There are, but I still think like you haven't touched anybody in your division yet. And all three of those teams I think are considerably better outside of maybe the Panthers, than the Saints, right? So you think, okay, that's probably at least 5 to 6 losses there. Rams probably not going to beat. Pat's probably not going to beat. Giants, if they play like they did last week against the Chargers, they're definitely not going to beat them. I don't know. I think maybe they'll steal one against the Jets or the Titans. So maybe I'm out. I don't think they're going to go
I'm
winless.
also out. I think to go 0-16, it sounds pitiful, but it's actually hard to do. Like it's hard to lose every single, especially like we've said in the NFL, any given Sunday. It's it's pretty good feat to go 0-16. So I really think that they'll kind of fall ass backwards into a couple of wins. Like, and they actually didn't look terrible against the Bills, and the Bills are
Sure.
probably the best team in the AFC,
Yeah.
right? So I think that they'll manage a few, but yeah, so I'm out on that. But I mean, it's certainly possible. They look like shit most weeks.
Truth, truth. But
Yeah,
I mean, you got a young quarterback, right?
yeah,
The weapons are kind of lacking or aging. I think you're going to see Kamara get traded this year just so that they can let Kendre Miller maybe start to take off a little bit.
yeah.
He showed some glimpses last week. So, yeah, who knows what's going to happen with the Saints team? You've always kind of expected them to be in the mix just based on their defense, but yeah, I don't know if they've got enough to get that done this year. So,
We actually agreed on an out. We agreed on
hey,
an in or out topic. How about that?
hey, what do you know?
First time for everything.
Right. Sure enough. Well, why don't we move on? And it's a segment that everybody loves.
Oh
Gives
yeah.
you a real chance to make fun of us on our picks, but it's time for locks and
Let's
dogs.
do locks and dogs, buddy.
Sure. And dude, I feel like I don't know what the hell's going on here. I can't pick a dog to
You
save my
cannot
life.
pick a dog to save
Like,
your
oh
life.
my goodness. Like, and maybe just me being a little bit of a hater and going against your Eagles a couple weeks in a row here, but man, some of those were valid, especially the Bucks. They were valid, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
not
valid pick.
gonna I'm not gonna do that this week,
Okay.
even though I kind of want to. But my dog of the week this week is gonna be the Texans.
Okay. So 0-4 on the year with your dogs picks, and you're looking to get off that schneid with the Texans pick. Who's your lock then?
I'm gonna run it back. Let's
Yeah?
just do the Brooksee special and take a little layup.
Why not?
Ain't no Angel Reese's in this one. It ain't gonna be a bricked rebound. Detroit gonna run it back this week.
So Detroit 2 weeks in a row. You've got a perfect 4-0 record with your locks, man. So hopefully they come through for you and you can go to 5-0. But yeah, what a contrast. 4-0 in your locks, 0-4 in your dogs. Where I am the picture of consistency. I'm 3-1 on my locks. I'm 3-1 on my dogs. I've been picking the dogs pretty well this year, actually.
You have.
Right?
It's actually kind of impressive. I'll give you that.
So I am going to put my 3-1 dogs record on the line. I went with the Jags last week. They ended the Niners' perfect season. I'm going with the Commanders this week. We talked about this game. We talked about the Commanders getting Jaden Daniels back this week. I think that's going to be a huge boost. And I
Yeah.
think that the Chargers are still kind of reeling. They lost to the NFC East, another NFC East team in the Giants last week. They probably should not have lost that game. The Commanders are a much better team than the Giants. I think the Commanders get it done. They're 2.5 point dogs for some reason in this game, but probably because it's in LA. LA is 3-1, so I guess it makes sense. But Commanders
Uh,
are taking this one.
are they still though? Because they just announced today that Jane Daniels is coming back.
Yeah, last I checked, the Commanders
Okay.
are still two
Okay.
and a half point dogs. So
I'll give you that one.
okay.
That one might be more of a PK on the spread, but yeah,
Why do
good
you
for
think
you.
my dogs record is so good?
Yeah.
Taking the march like the coin flips.
You're right.
And I think for my locks, I'm going to go with I mean, it's kind of a layup too. I mean, if cherry pick the Titans all year long, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals to get it done against the Tennessee Titans this week. Boom.
Fair enough. I mean, seems pretty legit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Re-
Well,
really putting my record on the line there. Yeah.
sure. Well, Bralvonians, let us know if you agree who you'd pick for your locks of the week, and even your dogs. Uh, like I said, we kind of need all the help we can get on some of these dogs, or at least I do. I'm
Yes,
terrible.
sir. Yeah. So we got week 5 on tap. I mean, we think you're going to agree on our takes this week for the most part. If not, though, you can tell us how you really feel in the comments. Do you have a different dumpster fire? Are you in or out on the topics that we discussed? Let us know your locks and dogs for the week. Sometimes we need all the help we can get, especially Calvo picking dogs. He needs all the help he can get. And, anything that we can use to help make those parlays hit on Sunday too, right? So
Yeah, this is probably why I lose every parlay by one
yeah,
leg. Just can
yeah,
never get the dog.
no kidding.
God damn it. But yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. That probably wraps it up. But anything else you want to add this week, or?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have far less love for ponies after this week. I know
Fuck
this
off.
isn't Poland. Not
There's no
everybody
way.
has a pony.
There's no way.
But I can't wait to hear you whine next week that Denver shut down your putrid offense, being in a tie for first with the Lions. And why do we not throw the ball? You know, Saquon can't get going. I can just picture it now.
Speaking of the Lions, if any team knows how to choke, it is the Lions, buddy. So when you guys are the dumpster fire of the week next week by blowing it against the Bengals, it's going to be really embarrassing for you to let the good people out there, the good Bralvonians, see you cry.
Well, you know what, buddy? I'm not even going to give you that satisfaction. If they lose, I'm fucking quitting this podcast. I'm done.
You literally said that last year and the year before, and yet here you are.
Well,
So
hey, there's a first time for everything.
that's yeah. All right, Bravonians, if you think you know better than us, go ahead and drop your resumes in the comments. But most importantly, hit that like, smash that like button, actually. We like to say smash that like. And please subscribe to help us grow this channel.
Absolutely. Well, for Brooksee, I'm Calvo. This has been the NFLA. See you in week 6.